If you are interested in my meal plan for 2 adults, I went shopping this week at Aldi in Australia, and I'm going to show you both my shopping grocery haul, the budget that I spent, and also the meals that I'm going to cook for the week, which are going to be fairly healthy. So stick around if you're interested in that. Hello and welcome back to Simple Essentials. If you are new to the channel, my name is Emmy. I live in Melbourne, Australia with my partner Paul, and in these videos I share ways to simplify your life in general. We mostly talk about grocery hauls, organizing your money, organizing your space, things like that in this channel. So it's really about simplifying your life in as many ways as possible. And if you're watching this channel, you're like, Emmy, all you do is organize and structure things. And it's really funny. I get this question sometimes from friends and family as well. It's interesting when you are simplifying your life, you're actually spending way less time doing the things that you see in these videos. So if you've seen my clean out the pantry and my grocery haul challenges and things like that, I actually spend very little time each week cooking because I plan. So that's what I'm hoping to share with you here, is that if you're really busy and things are really hectic in your life, by putting some simple systems in place, you can feel a lot happier. But in this video, we're going to dive into what I promised to show you today. I asked you over on Instagram what you wanted to see more of, and some of you said that you wanted to see some grocery hauls, some meal plans, some grocery food ideas. And my general philosophy when it comes to food is to buy as little stuff pre-packaged as possible. So I normally make most of my sauces, my dressings and things like that from scratch. Naturally, if I have a really busy week, I sometimes bake my own bread, but if I have a really busy week, I will just go and buy bread. So I'm pretty practical like that. But the first thing I do every single week, and my partner and I normally do this together, is that we put together a meal plan. It's very simple. I'm going to show you how to do it today. I have also done a previous video on how I meal plan, which I will link somewhere up here if you want to check that out later. I'll also link it in the box below. But the thing is, if you want to be mindful about how much you're spending at the grocery store, you do need to have a meal plan and you need to have a shopping list. So normally what I do is I use an app on my phone. I use Google Shopping Lists, but obviously use whatever app or just a list in your phone if that's what you prefer. The reason I like the Google Shopping List is because my partner and I both share it. So whoever goes to the store has the most up-to-date list in their phone, which is really helpful. But before we create the shopping list, we normally look in the pantry and in the fridge and in the freezer and go, what have we got that we need to use up? And then I create my meal plan based on that. If we don't have stuff that needs to be used up, I kind of think about, or we think about it together. What would we like to eat this week? What have we got going on? We normally eat out probably once a fortnight or something like that. So we eat most of our meals at home. So I'm going to show you how I do this meal planning pretty quickly. Okay, so when it comes to my meal plan, you will see that it is a very simple one. I just use a paper. You can obviously use exactly what you want or what suits you and your family. But essentially, I meal plan for lunch and for dinner, and I do 7 days. If you want to do less than a week, more than a week, whatever works for you, but this works pretty well for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a think about things that I can mix and match that are pretty healthy. And for those of you who haven't watched the channel before, my partner is gluten-free, so we try to eat gluten-free most of the time because I'm a bit too lazy to prepare meals for 2 people, or 2 separate meals for 2 people. So at the moment it's summer here in Australia, so I'm going to plan some fairly light lunches, or lunches so we can kind of combine and have hot or cold should we choose to. And if you're wondering, I only meal plan for lunch and dinner because we mostly intermittent fast in the morning, and if we're not fasting that day, we tend to just have a piece of toast or a boiled egg. So it's pretty standard. So I'm going to start with my lunches for the week, and we are going to do tuna salad. And I think I'm going to do tuna salad for 2 days here, only because it's a really easy one to throw together, and tuna is pretty inexpensive and quite healthy protein as well. Obviously, if you are vegetarian or vegan, you can substitute whatever salad you want. And then I'm going to do a bit of a mix and match. So I'm going to do some oven roasted veg with chicken fillets. So with my oven roasted veg and chicken fillets, I'm going to cook I get Paul to cook the chicken up on the barbecue, and then I'm going to do some oven roasted zucchini, carrot, and sweet potato, which is super inexpensive and really easy to make. And then I've got Saturday and Sunday left. So there I'm going to do, I found a recipe for hash browns, you know, like the ones they have at McDonald's, but you know, slightly healthier and you can make them yourselves. And so I'm going to do hash brown and eggs for brunch, lunch on the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. So that's essentially all that I put in. So we are pretty happy to have the same thing for about 2 days. And just because I've put them in this particular order doesn't mean that we won't change it up a little bit. So we might have tuna salad one day, do the oven roasted veg, have tuna salad again. So this is just to make sure that I have enough ingredients to make all of these things. And the beauty of this is that most of these things you can batch prepare on the weekend and then they're ready for the whole week. Okay, so when it comes to dinners, I want to get a big pack of chicken because I'm going to do the chicken fillets for my oven roasted veg for lunches. So for dinner, for 2 of the nights, we're going to do a homemade potato salad. And we're going to do that with chicken. And again, I'm putting that down for 2 days, but we might very well end up again mixing this up a little bit. Then I'm going to show you guys a recipe that I love. We keep doing it a lot. It is taco bowls with rice and turkey mince. And that normally makes about 2 dinners worth for us. So we're going to do that. And it's nice to have a bit of mix because I've got potatoes going on. I've got potato salad, sweet potatoes. So having some rice and turkey mince is going to be nice. And then I know because I asked that Paul wants to make spaghetti bolognese. He's really good at that. It's a very simple recipe, but it's really, really tasty. Comes out really good every time. So we're going to do that. So we've got enough of that for 2 days. And on the Sunday, I know that I'm going to get a big can of tuna. So I'm probably going to have tuna left. So we might just do tuna melt toasties. All right then, so now I've got my meal plan ready. It doesn't have to be perfect. I could have rewritten this because I wanted it to be all pretty, but in reality, this just needs to go on the fridge and both of us need to be able to see it. Sometimes I will also mark who is cooking what meal on here so that the person who's responsible for cooking that day or those days can make sure that they have enough time in the evening or at lunch to kind of do that. But that's essentially it. And then I just take these ingredients, whatever I'm missing. I have some of this at home, but most of it I'm going to have to go and buy. So I just add that to my grocery list. And then and only then is when I go grocery shopping. So I'm going to head to the store now and I'm going to show you guys when I come back what I ended up buying, how much I spent. And in the next video coming out next week, we're going to go through all the recipes that I cooked and how some of the things turned out. So over to the grocery haul. So over to my grocery store, and I wanted to call attention here to look at the per kilo or per pound price of things where you live. So I headed over to my vegetable section and I looked for zucchinis. I needed about 2 to 3 zucchinis for my recipe, and the pre-packaged ones in a big plastic tray were $6.98 per kilo, whereas the loose bin, which was right next to it, was $4.99 per kilo. So if you're not already looking at it, make sure that you're looking at the per pound or per kilo cost, and sometimes buying more than you need for that week will save you money in the long run. Also reduce some packaging. Then over to the corn, and this is canned corn at my Aldi at $2.12 per kilo. Now canned corn is really great because it obviously lasts for a really long time, but I often end up buying the frozen corn instead for this very reason. Look at the ingredient list on your canned goods. The same goes for beans and other things, because if it comes in a pre-made brine, it's often a lot of sugar in that brine. So in this particular case, I actually ended up buying frozen corn instead, which I'll show you in just a second. So here is my entire grocery haul for the week. So this is 2 people not eating out at all for all of our meals, and I ended up spending pretty much bang on 79 Australian dollars for this entire shop. I did have frozen turkey mince and I did have some brown rice at home already, so I accounted for that within those $79. And I'm pretty stoked with how it came out. You'll see here that I've got a pretty good spread of some protein, I've got a bunch of vegetables, and I've also got some treats like some dark chocolate and some tea and things like that. So with the protein, I am doing chicken thigh fillets on the barbecue that you saw in my meal prep before. So I've got chicken thigh fillets there. I try to buy free range or better quality meat whenever possible. We've also got some beef mince for the spaghetti bolognese, and I do have the frozen turkey mince, which I bought on clearance a couple of weeks ago and chucked in the freezer. So that was $3.99 for 500 grams. And you'll also see that I've got some cheese, I've got some Greek yogurt. I use Greek yogurt for an awful lot of recipes and dressings, which you'll see in the next video where we'll look at the meal plan. And we're getting some eggs and some almond milk as well. And one thing I think is important to acknowledge is that just because you're on a budget or trying to be healthy, do allow yourself some treats as well. For example, dark chocolate with sea salt is something I often have in my house. And then over to my vegetables. So you've got a can of tuna there, you've got the frozen corn that I talked about. I think that was just under $3 for that whole bag of frozen corn, which will last us a really long time, way more than just this week. I've got some eggs, I've got some spaghetti for the spaghetti bolognese, I've got lettuce, I've got lots of fruit and vegetable, which is really nice. And the same goes, I mentioned it before, I do try to buy free range or better quality produce wherever I can. Free range eggs, it's about $1, I think 80 cents to $1 difference at my Aldi to get the free range instead of the cage eggs, and I think they just taste so much better, so that's what I tend to buy instead. And over here we have a few of the other bits and bobs. We've got my sweet potatoes, some carrots, some tea. I already had coffee at home, so I didn't need to buy any more coffee. I did buy a pre-made pasta sauce. Sometimes we make our own pasta sauce, but we were a bit short on time this week, so I got a pre-made one. And for snacks this week, we did a lot of toast with a little bit of cheese, or we did the corn thins, which are sort of corn crackers. You can see they're in the back left, with some natural peanut butter on them. And natural peanut butter obviously has only peanuts and no sugar. And I did actually take all my vegetables out so you could see how much vegetables were actually included in this budget. So we normally always have some kind of fruit at home. At the moment we're eating a lot of mandarins or oranges and things like that. I really like them, and I think they're really good as well to keep you nice and healthy. We do love avocado. Avocado on this particular week was actually only 99 cents per avocado, which is dirt cheap for here. I have seen them in some seasons for up to $2.99 per avocado, which is also obviously the season when I don't buy them because that's just a little bit more than I want to pay for them. You see my zucchinis, my fresh lemon. I use fresh lemon juice a lot, but you can also obviously use the bottled lemon juice for some of the recipes I'm going to share with you in the next video. And then I've got both some massive sweet potatoes as well as some regular brushed potatoes that we're going to have for the potato salad. So those are all the veggies that I bought this week. Okay guys, that's the grocery haul for the week. I'm pretty happy with the budget it came in at. I think it was quite affordable, and I'm really proud that I was able to buy most of the things that I'm going to be kind of making from scratch. Yes, I did buy the pasta sauce, and there are a couple of other things in there that maybe, like the taco seasoning I could have made from scratch. But sometimes, if you're having a really busy week as well, don't be too hard on yourself that it has to be super budget or super healthy unless that's a huge priority for you. We try to be pretty practical in this house and do the right thing most of the time, and that works for us. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below if you want to make sure to watch in the next video when I'm going to share with you all the recipes that I cooked, including all the recipes written down so that you can try them out at home as well. Hope you have a fabulous week, and I look forward to see you in the next video.